At exactly 0317 hours on March 4, 2026, the Strait of Hormuz was closed for the first time in human history. Not by a storm, not by an accident, by a missile. The Thai-flagged tanker Mayuri Nari, carrying 2 million barrels of Saudi crude oil, was hit directly by an Iranian surface-to-surface missile. The 22 crew members abandoned ship in lifeboats, while the deck burned in flames visible 30 miles away. This was the 12th ship attacked by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in just 12 days of conflict. Tehran's message was crystal clear. No ship would pass without Iran's permission. President Trump's response came 47 minutes later. The United States Navy will begin escorting oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz as soon as possible. 11 words, $400 trillion in global trade depending on them. The problem was simple and devastating. The U.S. Navy was not ready to execute this order. General Dan Kaine, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, confirmed at the Pentagon that options were being evaluated. In other words, they didn't yet have a plan. The promised operation would take weeks. Weeks that the 150 ships anchored outside the strait definitely didn't have. Historical traffic through the strait was 138 vessels per day. That week, 7. Then 4. Then 1. The price of Brent crude broke through $126 a barrel, the fastest rise in any conflict in modern history. But there was an even deeper problem. The U.S. Navy had retired its 4 Avenger-class minesweepers. These were the only vessels designed to neutralize the 6,000 to 8,000 naval mines that Iran kept in its inventory. The replacements, the literal combat ships, were found by satellite imagery in Malaysia, thousands of kilometers away. Their aluminum hulls, reflective to mine-detecting sonar, made them vulnerable targets against precisely the mines they were supposed to neutralize. The U.S. Navy had reached the most dangerous moment of the century without its minesweepers. On March 14th, the Pentagon played its most dramatic card, the urgent deployment of 2,500 Marines and the USS Tripoli. The Tripoli is a 44,000-ton amphibious assault ship sent directly to the Strait Theater to project American power, with embarked F-35Bs, CH-53K helicopters, and LCAC landing vehicles capable of 50 knots. The Tripoli represents a threat Tehran cannot ignore. This force allows the U.S. to project power directly into Iranian territory without the need for a permanent land base. Tehran's response was immediate. The Foreign Ministry spokesman declared that any attempt to access Iran's southern islands would lead to total escalation. They warned the country would abandon all containment if their sovereignty was challenged in the high-stakes maritime standoff. At 11 p.m. on March 19th, traffic through the strait remained below 5% of its historical capacity. The economic impact hit home quickly. Gasoline in California surpassed $5 per gallon as energy markets reacted to the closure. The International Energy Agency released 400 million barrels from emergency reserves, equivalent of 4 days of global consumption. The most powerful navy in human history was putting together a plan to force the reopening of the international strait. They faced a regional power determined to keep the waterway closed, setting the stage for a potential global confrontation. Do you believe the U.S. Navy can reopen the strait without triggering a all-out war? Write 1 for yes, 2 for no in the comments. The lesson of this conflict is not about missiles or mines. It is about a principle as old as maritime trade. The straits of the world belong to the power that has the will and the ability to keep them open. For 70 years, that power has been the United States Navy. Today, for the first time in generations, that truth is being tested. Stay alert. Stay informed. When the Strait of Hormuz closes, it's not just the Middle East that stops. The whole world counts the days until the U.S. Navy does what it has always done: open their way.